Yo, what is up? How is everybody doing on this lovely Sunday night? Sorry on behalf of myself and of course Stefan for the delay. For those of you who stopped by early, Armand, I see you. McForster, we're gonna get into the Cubs. I see you as well. As always, welcome to a brand new episode of 27 Outs. I, of course, am Ivan alongside Stefan. Some technical difficulties, right? But listen, better late than never. And also, we sound as we should, right? Because I think
Right.
quality matters, even though we have had situations, I had firsthand experience with the chat not even being able to tell me, like, yo, we hear you through your damn monitor and it's not your mic. But listen, I guess that's you guys' way of letting us know that, I guess we're good at what we do when it's all said and done. But anyway, as you can tell by the title of tonight's video, we are going to get into Alex Bregman, the Cubs. We also want to chat with our Red Sox fans. How are you guys feeling? TD, Sox fan for life. Jules, I could be forgetting some of you guys. I know Stefan also wants to get into what the commissioner said in that radio interview. And then also, before I pass it over to you, Stefan, we also had a big league player respond to one of our videos on TikTok. Some of you guys may or may not know about that yet, but if you're interested, stick around. We're gonna make sure we end tonight's show off with that. But anyway, Stefan, now that I could hear you through the mic, now that things are, as they should be, not just with the mic, bro, but I got a cut now. Like they get to see, what a normal Ivan looks like again.
See, you wasn't gonna one up me with the cut, bro. I hit up my uncle. I was like, "Yep, I need it. I
Of
need it.
course.
I need it. I need it done." This guy's gonna come in here looking fresh to death, and I'm gonna be looking like a straight bozo. So he blessed me. He hit me off lovely. Listen, man, wonderful Sunday evening to you guys. I'm gonna get straight into it, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. Uh we're gonna be talking about Alex Bregman tonight, but just for forewarning, it's about to be a crazy ass week because my phone has not stopped buzzing since I woke up this morning, and when I say it's not normal, it's the amount of value that I'm getting from people around the game, people in the game, people that are trying to sign players and trade for play. It is absolutely insane the amount of uh back and forth between yo, this deal could work, this deal might work, this deal, you know what I mean? We feel like we're close to something. And I'm gonna surprise you though. A lot of these teams that are in discussion with other teams are not the teams that you would think, oh wow, this team's involved. Like it's a lot of that going on. A lot of teams that don't usually act aggressively are acting aggressively right now, which we'll get into in a little bit. But while we're here, um, look, credit to the Cubs for doing what they need to do. Hand clap one time for Tom Ricketts and the Ricketts family for opening up the checkbook. But I just got to say one thing. If you wanted to do this now, why didn't you do this last year? If you plan to go here now when he's a year older coming off a quad and leg issues, why'd you only offer him 115 then? What's the difference between then and now?
Right. Other than the fact that, as you mentioned, he's a year older now.
He's a year older. And here's the thing. Credit to Alex Bregman, too, for telling the Cubs, listen, full no trade. I'm not going nowhere, and I don't plan to. I'm here. Right? But I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around this, my boy. I'm serious. I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around how you go from 115 last year to 175 this year. And then the epiphany happened. You know the music that and your brain, the thing goes off in your brain, and it's like a bell. I said, 75 million of this is deferred. So if you want to get technical, the deal is 5 years, 100 million.
Right.
What is that? That's what? 20 a year? Now I understand it. Because when I looked at it originally, I was like, yeah, but you only offered him 115 the last time, and now you're going up to 175. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, you jumped up a full $60 million. But then when you take into account that they you take into account that they had this thing put in, they had the deferrals put in, you're talking about a full $75 million in deferrals, bro.
Right.
Changes the whole equation of the contract. And now I understand why the Cubs made this move.
Yeah, when you explain it like that, I could certainly see why they, again, going back to what you said when it comes to what they offered last year versus now, and the difference being what, $60 million more, right? 115 to 175 now. But I think the one thing that really stood out, that really got the job done, because we know that the Red Sox offered 5 for 165, right? But as I did some reading about this deal, the thing that really stood out to Bregman was having the no trade clause in his contract, because he doesn't want to look at what he just did. He went from Houston, he went to the Red Sox. Now he's in Chicago. It kind of feels like he's already over and done with. To go back to something that you had mentioned earlier this offseason, Stefan, especially when it comes to Bregman, he's got a kid. You know, the wife may have some say. Maybe she's sick and tired of, playing in different cities, not knowing where the hell she's going to live.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. And I think the Cubs understood that. And they were the ones who eventually were like, here's the no trade clause if that's what you want, bro.
Also, here's the interesting tidbit that I thought about. Where do the Cubs train for spring training? Arizona. Where does he live in the wintertime? Arizona. That means that for the next 5 spring trainings, we know where we are. You know where I am. Not too far from the house. Everybody's happy. I get to go home after when I'm done training. Like I'm not gonna play spring training games on the road because I'm a veteran. I could be home by like noon, help you with the kids. All that kind of makes sense, right? Now, Chicago's not Arizona in terms of, when you come north for the season to start, it gets kind of chilly and you're freezing. But I also think, and this is the thing that I took away from this, I feel like the Red Sox didn't value him, right? Because to be that far off, Ivan, we're talking about a full $20 million difference. Also, they wouldn't grant him the no trade clause, which is what he wanted. He wanted a full no trade. They wouldn't grant him the no trade clause, and their final offer was 6 at 165. But if you do the math, the offer was like more like 5 at like 120.
Right.
Like it didn't, because the deferrals, the way they had his deferrals like spread out for like, I think it was like a 15-year deferral where he was like, I'm not doing that. You crazy? Nah. And look, I also think this is the other thing. I also think he wanted to be in Chicago, right? Because when you see how, the Cubs wanted him bad last year. They wanted him. Jed Hoyer was on him from the very beginning. They were on him early again now, right? So it just shows you that there was a kinship there. And when they met over Zoom, there was a instant connection like, hey, we can really work together. Like there's something about this that is a palatable relationship. And the one thing I find myself asking is how did the Red Sox respond to this?
Yeah.
Because now here's the thing. Forget about the production on the field. The clubhouse presence that Alex Bregman brings to a clubhouse cannot be overstated.
Yeah.
This guy's a champion, multi-time champion. He plays the game the right way. He does everything the right way. He's a veteran's veteran. And for the Red Sox to let that veteran presence go after you just signed all those young kids, the Roman Anthony's, the Marcelo Myers, the Cedon Rafaelas, the Christian Campbells, that this whole thing makes no sense to me, right? I sat there and I said, what an interesting time to have a fan fest in Boston, huh? Because let me tell you something right now. And Red Sox, you have every right to be pissed off.
Yeah.
You have every right to be angry. You have every right to tell your front office and everybody around you, you guys are all pieces of trash.
You know what's the crazy part too, and I'm glad you mentioned the Red Sox, is because look at what they did last offseason. Well, last season, right? Just last season in general. You move on from Devers, you send him to the Giants because you're like, oh, we got Bregman, we see him here long term, or at least that's what it appeared to be at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now here we are, the very next year, still fairly early in the year, not in the off
Crazy,
season,
bro.
but the very next year, now you're without the guy who you thought was going to be the replacement after
Wow.
moving on from Devers. Listen, Stefan, I know you mentioned it on the show earlier this offseason, but those rumors with the Red Sox having interest in Bo Bichette, they better heat up, bro. They better start heating up because if it doesn't, the Red Sox are in trouble.
Well, here's the reality of it. I'm gonna be real disrespectful, Red Sox Nation. They're not doing that. The reason why they're not doing that is because John Henry and Sam Kennedy, the CEO and the owner of the Red Sox, truth serum time, kids, they're risk averse. They don't like giving out long-term deals. So that means Bo Bichette's 28 years old. That means you're starting at 7 years. And I don't think the Red Sox playing that pool. I don't.
I mean, that's not all that bad. If he's 28, that means it ends at what, 35? I do
They're
that.
they're looking for 7 years, but they really want 9.
Oh, hell to the no. Mm-mm.
Right? So look, they're not gonna go 7 years. They're just not. And there are people already in Boston that are like, oh, why are we even gonna do the Bichette thing when you don't even plan on going to that full extent? You stop short for a guy that you knew. Right? So if you're stopping short for a guy that you know in Alex Bregman, why would you go full throttle and get in bed with Bo Bichette when you know nothing about the player other than you just play against them all these years? Right. You had Bregman in your clubhouse. I'm just wondering out loud. I wonder how much the toxicity of the Devers thing and having to deal with, if I do end up staying here and something just doesn't go right, are they going to trade me and not tell me? Are they going to try and do some BS where they make me look like the bad guy because they want me to switch positions? I don't want to, or they want me to do something that I'm not comfortable doing.
Right.
Why would you even go there at that point? And we talk about the Cubs not having loyalty, going back to the manager, the Craig Counsell, David Ross fiasco. But the Red Sox haven't shown much loyalty either. And this has to call into question the entire Red Sox offseason because Sonny Gray's a nice pitcher. Wilson Contreras is a nice player. But if you did all that to lose Alex Bregman and you don't have no way to fortify it, you are looking absolutely nuts right now to your fan base.
That's a great point because I remember when we covered both moves, right? Sonny Gray and Wilson Contreras both going to the Red Sox. And, we said some great things about it. Despite Sonny Gray being an older guy, I think he still brings a lot for his age.
Yeah.
Wilson Contreras, of course, being a quality bat that they now have at first. Mm-hmm. But it all sounded even better with the thought of Alex Bregman. Now, I know it wasn't official, clearly, which is why we're here tonight because he went to the Cubs instead. Yeah. But it always sounded damn near perfect if they could bring him back. And for him to go to Chicago now, again, credit to Chicago, but I am genuinely interested in what it looks like for both sides, right? Also because one thing that you mentioned a couple of minutes ago was the veteran presence, the fact that Alex Bregman is a winner, right? I'm excited to see what him being on a team with PCA now does for PCA. Like PCA just had a breakout year in 2025. Is that it? Or could maybe Alex Bregman be like, yo, kid, I see this for you.
Yeah.
Cade Horton, another youngster, had a hell of a season. Maybe he feels excited to be able to play alongside a champion now. These guys are that young,
No, and the word I'll use with the Cubs is you have some impressionable players on your roster. Like you have some guys that are really young. And here's what I'm going to tell you too, right? It's just something about a guy when he walks in your clubhouse, you know exactly what you're getting from the guy. Yo, I'm gonna be at third base every day. Yo, I'm gonna play sound defense. I'm gonna get 30 doubles a year, and when I'm on the field, I'm gonna produce for you, right? And for the Red Sox, see, this is the thing, and I'm sorry to keep going back to the Red Sox part of this because we're gonna get to the Cubs in a second, but for the Red Sox to come up so short and to use the phrase, "Oh well, the ball's in his court," can somebody explain to me what the hell that even means? What does that mean when you had no intention of extending the ball?
Right.
You had no intention of letting him figure out if this is where he wanted to be. Oh, we love Alex. We love Alex. We love Alex. If you loved Alex, then why do you make it? Why does it seem like you did everything in the world not to keep Alex? You knew he was opting out last year. Oh, well, we gave him $40 million. Did you really give him $40 million? Because if you look at the opt-outs and all the stuff that was available, it was actually $31 million. So he didn't really give 40. Now, he got the same thing virtually with the Cubs. Like, if you take out, like, present-day value, he's just making, like, anywhere between 30 to 32. But you get where I'm going, and it's like, yo, you can't have it both ways. You can't say we want to win and be competitive and all that. I don't know, Miss Forrester. I don't know if they'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know
what their answer to this is, honestly.
Because here's the thing: for Sam Kennedy and the whole regime to come out and say, "Well, you know, we were heartbroken with his decision." Were you really? After he gave you a hometown discount last year, because that's what he did. He said, "Yo, you know what I mean? I'll do you the favor. I give you the hometown discount. Now you want to lowball me again after I did you that favor? Now I'm going to Chicago." And for you to tell me that you're not going to give me the no trade clause is insane to me. What do I mean? What? Let me ask you a question, bro. You're a professional ball player. You see the profound impact that I have on your clubhouse. You see it. It's palpable. It's visible. Your younger players even say, "Yo, this guy has a profound impact on us." And you wouldn't give a guy like that a no trade clause? Why?
You know what bothers me too about the Boston Red Sox not including a no trade clause, especially for a guy like Bregman after what he did for them this past season?
That is
because a no trade clause, if a player is asking that, like obviously, if it ever comes to a situation when a deal may, make sense for the team, you of course have to speak to the player, right? But at the same time, it's also a player telling you, "Hey, look, even if you don't find a deal, if I sign for 5 years, I'm okay with staying here for 5 years. Worst case scenario."
Yeah. And he's basically telling you, "I wanted to stay here."
Right.
And you didn't want to give me the no trade. Why? Why do you not want to give me the no trade? Because you want to have control. And I'm going to throw another tidbit into this because, you know what? Let's just have the conversation.
I got one more point too about this Bregman stuff. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Get the point off.
A couple days ago, you probably know about this, Stefan. In chat, let us know if you know as well. We see all of you guys. Shout out to everyone. Make sure you hit that like button. Ketel Marte, even though I'm not falling for it, but a couple of days ago, we did hear that the Arizona Diamondbacks have taken Ketel Marte off the trade table, right? Okay. I'm not falling for it. I think we're right. We're pretty much seeing eye to eye right now.
You see
why that was another option that you had if this were going to happen. Now that it finally did.
Hold on. You want to see some simpatico shit happening? This is why this is my man. This is why this is my right-hand man. My right-hand man, 100 grand. Because I was just about to say right before you got into that, I think they thought they had Marte in the bag.
I remember, yeah. We were live one night and you had shared something
that
broke, at the time.
They thought, listen, we're going to put a package together. We're going to get Ketel to come to Boston. And then we're going to move off of Bregman because Ketel he's a little cheaper. He's a year younger. And he kind of fits what we need. Here's why I agree with you. Can we get to the logistical part of this? You know why they're going to trade Ketel Marte? And I don't give a damn what Mike Heisen says. And if the Diamondbacks don't trade him, speaking of Mike Heisen, the general manager and president of the Arizona Diamondbacks, yes, I'm calling you out. You'd be a fool not to trade Ketel Marte. Can I tell you why? Because 11 days into the season, you know what he gets? 10-5 rights. You know what that means? 10 years of big league service time, 5 years with the same team. You know what that comes with? An automatic no trade clause. So, do you, after all the stuff we heard about Ketel Marte in the locker room, how he's a bad influence in the locker room and he's been difficult to deal with in the locker room and in the clubhouse and his teammates, you know what I'm saying? Like he posted something a couple weeks ago. I guess I'm a bad teammate with a laughing emoji or something like that.
Oh, damn.
Do you really want to deal with that? If you're Mike Hazen, if you're Torey Lovello and you're trying to get this team up and running, listen, I call complete BS on all this. We're not trading Ketel. I think if you get the right package, he will be traded because I do think the 10-5 rights play a significant role.
Makes it harder if you're Arizona.
Yes, it does make it harder. And here's the thing. He already has a limited no trade. So now you're going to give him a blanket no trade where you're basically going to tell him, oh, you can basically run the whole gambit of where you decide where you want to go.
Right.
The Arizona Diamondbacks would be foolish to hang on to this brother. So maybe the Red Sox and them circle back at a point and say, hey, what you want to do?
You better. Even the Red Sox, you absolutely have to. Listen, you got to do something. You got to do something because TD, we see you. Welcome.
What's up, bro?
You can't start this season talking about Wilson Contreras and Sonny Gray's your season.
Yo, that is insane.
That's really bad. Listen, not a bad way to start. If you're gonna continue to add on, not a bad way to start. But I gotta see like where are we going with this? You know, especially if you're a Red Sox fan.
And then, you know, the other thing I'm upset with is like it feels like the Red Sox penny pinch, right? It feels like the Red Sox penny pinch. No, it's not March 1st. It's 11 days after the season begins. So when does the season start for Arizona, Ivan? It is let's hit the Google on that because 11 days after the season opens, you're now stuck with this player. Right? So they're gonna find a way to trade him way before he's at the 26th of March.
Okay, yeah.
So the season starts the 26th of March. So around April 7th, he now has a no trade clause. The one thing you don't want to do if you're Arizona, you don't want to play that up to that deadline. That's why I'm saying, listen, I think Bo Bichette has to sign first. Once Bo Bichette signs, you're going to see rumors start to resurface about, oh, the Diamondbacks have they've rethought about trading Ketel Marte. Because you don't do the extensive work that they've done, that Mike Hazen and his staff have done with the Red Sox, with the teams you talk to just automatically say, hey, we're going to throw up our hands. Hey, we're done now, right? So,
and the beauty about, for any team that, makes a decision to get the Diamondbacks to, budge and give up on Ketel Marte is the fact that money isn't even a problem when you consider what he's earning, right? Like as long as you're willing to depart with prospects, because obviously the Diamondbacks are going to ask for a hefty package in return.
Right.
As long as you could give him that, you're good. Like weren't like the Tampa Bay Rays at one point involved for Marte too?
I think the Rays circle back. I think two teams circle back for sure. I think the Rays circle back.
Like the Rays, I don't know if it happens, but you want to talk about prospects and being okay with giving dudes up. That's a team that is not afraid. They'll take that risk.
And they'll take the risk because he's not making no real money. The other thing I would say is watch the Phillies. Because if you don't do Bo Bichette and you don't bring back Realmuto, the Phillies can now absorb Marte's contract into that salary slot. Right? And Marte is a player that I think Bryce Harper would like to play with. Now your infield becomes a strength. Now we're talking about Turner, Marte. Now we got some options, right?
Here's what I'm worried about, though, because I thank you for mentioning Bryce Harper because it leads me right to my point. Now, I'm not falling for it completely, but a few minutes ago you did mention that his teammates on the D-backs have said some things. They felt the
Yeah.
way, whatever the case may be, which is probably what leads to the Diamondbacks, are shopping him now, right? But
Mhm.
Bryce Harper's a guy, like, if there's a problem, listen, he'll open up his mouth.
No, he'll
He'll
straighten
he'll
it out.
he'll
I'm
press
sure.
you in the dugout if need be, like we've seen it before, dating
Yeah.
back to his days with the Nationals.
No doubt. No
So
doubt.
I love Ketel Marte, the talent, right? But I would hate for him to go to Philly, for example. Now him and Bryce Harper are possibly beefing. You never know.
So we're gonna get to these comments, but Razor asked a good question. I wonder if the Diamondbacks are just fully committed to making him the franchise player. You know what, Razor? If they were fully committed, you wouldn't have had him on the market for as long as you did,
Right, right.
and it wouldn't have been so public. They are trying to move this brother. They're trying to move him, bro, because they had trade talks with like 3-4 different teams. You know what I'm saying? And I do think when you start to look at it, you don't want the dude to have a full no trade because now I can't move you.
Mm-hmm.
And what if you become a bigger problem in the clubhouse, right? And you become a bigger issue. Now you got the full no trade. So now you could really tell me to take a long walk off a short pier. You know what I'm saying? Now you could really assert your control about what it is that you want to do. Listen, at the end of the day, the Red Sox have to be in this mix for this particular reason. Because not only did you let Bregman go, who is a good clubhouse leader, but there's a lot of fans in Boston today who feel like, does this ownership group even care? Like, do you even care? Do you care about trying to put a winner on the field? Now, you made the trades, you made the acquisitions, but you have not spent no money in free agency, right? Like, Red Sox fans are not happy. And here's the truth. If you knew you felt that way, from the very beginning, and you knew what this was going to cause after the Mookie thing, after the Devers thing, you're going to do this 3 times to a fan base in less than 10 years? Can I ask you a question? What the hell is wrong with y'all? Ivan, help me. What
No,
what
so
the hell?
I do want to say something because this is very possible, right? And Armand, I know earlier tonight you said something along the lines of, Red Sox fans having to prepare for like Eugenio Suarez or something like that. Isn't that crazy to go from Devers to Bregman to listen? I know Eugenio Suarez is 35, 40 to 100 RBIs. It's a lock damn near, right? But at the same time, defensively, he's not. That's essentially like having Devers at third all over again,
So let me ask you a
But
question.
he's not as good as a hitter as Devers, which is why you see the decline, right?
Okay.
Even though I say Bregman was, I would say somewhat of an upgrade, but it is.
Yeah, I know. Let me ask you a question though. I wonder if the Red Sox and Cubs get together on a trade. Nico Horner doesn't have a place now. Matt Shaw doesn't have a place now.
Yeah, Matt Shaw played third for them this past season.
I wonder if the Red Sox and Cubs get together on a trade and one of those brothers ends up in Boston.
That's interesting. TD, I see you're a Red Sox fan and you're here. So I'm going to say this. If I am a Red Sox fan, I like Nico Horner more than I do Shaw.
Now, here's the thing. You do Nico, right? Now, you have to figure out what you're going to do at the end of the year because Nico Horner is a free agent. So whoever trades for him, whoever it is, whether it's the Red Sox, whoever else the names that pop up, he's a free agent at the end of the year. Another name that I'm going to circle, I wonder if they go back to St. Louis and say, let's do this Brendan Donovan thing. Because they were interested in him early on in the season. The Cardinals have not moved him yet. The Red Sox and the Cardinals have made true transactions so far. I wonder if that's the third trade they make where you're like, hey, you got an infielder. We kind of need an infielder. Can we make this work?
I think that's an interesting solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it does come to that point. But I'm sorry to say, man, it's just it's just not enough, man. I know you're at a point right now where you're very limited And some
Mhm.
of these guys who are still available, like a Bo Bichette, for example, they got like
Mhm.
4, 5, 6, 7 different teams hitting their line every single night,
Mhm. Mhm.
which makes this thing even more difficult, which is brings me to my point.
Mhm.
It wouldn't surprise me if between now and opening day, the Red Sox end up settling for maybe what you just said, bro. I think so.
Another name that I'm gonna throw out there too, because they almost had him last year, right? I wonder if they circle back to the Cardinals and do the Nolan thing. I have Nolan played there.
Oh, please. I'm sick of hearing no. It's been like what, 3 off
You-
seasons now.
I'm being serious. Like there has to be because the Cardinals want to move him. It makes no sense for them to keep that money on your books when you're rebuilding.
Yeah, yeah. But I kind of feel like both parties are kind of making this very difficult because the Cardinals, if you want to be technical, Stefan, for those of us who remember, chat, they
Mhm.
did their job.
Yeah.
It was Nolan who made it difficult. Now, ever since the Cardinals, I don't know if they've been able to really be able to find that same momentum as they did when they got that close to a deal, which I believe was with the Astros, if I'm not mistaken. But
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really gotten like much steam out of
So
that.
also, you're not going to get steam because look what's available, right? Bo's available. Nico Horner's available. There's better players available.
Yeah, still.
Nolan is the fallback play if all else fails.
Damn, that's crazy. Imagine somebody would have told you that 10 years ago. Yo,
And
10 years from now,
I will
Nolan's going to be
I
like
will tell you this right now, yo. Like it's crazy to look at the Red Sox and hear them cry broke. It's crazy to hear them do this. Bro, you're the Boston Red Sox, bro. You got money. What are we doing to this fan base? Like, he does, but I'm just trying to give you so what you rolling with? You rolling with the kids on your infield? You rolling with Meyer, Campbell, and you rolling with the kids?
they might have to bring Campbell back up because remember, they sent him down.
That's what I'm saying. So you rolling with the kids though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, is that the thing you choose to do? Because here's what's going to get real difficult. You kind of box yourself into a corner. And the thing is, the fan base, you have no right to ask the fan base to tell you, oh, give us a chance. Bear with us. You traded Devers because you thought Bregman was going to take his spot. Then you sit there and you did something crazy and you told Bregman, nah, hold up, wait a minute, we're going to trade for Marte. Knowing you had a guy that you could have paid, but you played yourself. Now the fan base is looking at you like, yo, dog, what's good with you? Do you blame them? Because I don't. I don't blame them for saying, yo, this is some straight BS. What the hell's going on here? Because I would be so upset. I would be so upset.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the truth. If you are not into this business, you spend money to make your team better, especially with the way things have ended with the Betts and Devers situations. And then you're going to let another franchise pillar leave who was only there for a year, who had a significant impact. Sell the team. Sell the team. Enough of this. Oh, crap broke and did this and this is this. And then Sam Kennedy, you got some. Go ahead.
I don't want to break any hearts, right? Because it's still fairly early and we are not at this point just yet.
Yo.
But I'm listening to what Stefan was saying there, chat. And he mentioned franchise players, Mookie Betts, Devers once upon a time. And it brings me to now, who could possibly be the franchise player moving forward for the Boston Red Sox and Roman Anthony. Like, is it safe to say that Boston Red Sox fans shouldn't get all that excited about having him because the team might not know what they're doing with him too? It's still early to speak on that, but who's to say that a few years from now, they end up fumbling what they have right now with Roman Anthony? We've seen them do it before.
That's a good point. TD just puts the words Anthony as you start talking. So
I'm
Listen,
just saying something to keep in mind.
I look. It all comes down to one particular thing, right? It seems like there's no plan in Boston. It seems like everybody's flying by the seat of their pants. Yo, we're gonna do this because this may make sense in the moment. We're gonna do this because this may help us in the moment. All well and good, but let me ask you a question. What the fan base of the fan base is the currency. That's who fills up the turnstiles. That's who buys the merch. That's who does all that. I may have my personal feelings about fans and how much we should listen or not, but fans are the currency that keeps you millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you a question. How many times you gonna piss on my forehead and tell me it's raining? Bro, come on. How many times are you gonna piss on my forehead and tell me it's a thunderstorm outside? That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Especially when the Red Sox, they were in the mix and they were close and they got close to do this and they were right there and they thought they had the player. You're heartbroken because he left you for $10 million more dollars? What you thought he was gonna do? Retire? By the way, for as much as we kill Scott Boras, hand clap for him too one time. For getting Bregman to 40 with Boston and then turn around and, I'll get you another 35.
Right.
Hand clap for you one time, Scott Boras. I don't always appreciate the way you do your business, but you got that brother paid. Good for you.
Job's not done though. At least for Bregman it is, but not for Boras.
No, I'm just using this as the example. He did this with Pete Alonso, and now he did it with Alex Bregman. He did it with Blake Snell a couple years ago too,
Right.
where they signed for shorter term deals, and we were like, "What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? What the hell are we doing? What the hell?" And then you turn around, and Scott Boras hits one out the park, and you're like, "Yo."
I think you just brought up two good examples. I think he's done a hell of a job with getting Pete Alonso what he got from Baltimore and now Bregman. Yeah.
And you know who's sitting in the catbird seat laughing at all of us right now? Because somebody brought it up earlier.
Oh, man.
Is Bo Bichette worth $300 million? My answer to that is hell no.
No, absolutely not.
But in this current market where Alex Bregman just got 35, right? At 32 years old, he just got $35 million. Why can't Bo Bichette ask for $40 million a year?
And I had told you originally myself. I don't know if you remember the original conversation we had when it came to like Bo Bichette and what he could possibly get on the market now that he's a free agent. Remember, I told you 200. And you was like, nah, more like Dansby Swanson, maybe 175-ish around there.
But the market,
because of what you just said. Look at what Bregman just got.
The market
just he's younger.
Right. The market changes, right? So when Bregman gets $35 million a year, everybody above him now just gets a step up. Now, if you're Bo Bichette, you're looking at it, you just paid this 32-year-old player who's injury prone $35 million a year. Y'all better get me close to 40. Matter of fact, you better get me at 40. If Bregman got 175, Bo Bichette sniffing around at 260, 280 mark.
40 at 5. That's what, 200 right there.
Nah, he's getting more than 5 years. Bo Bichette is at least getting 7 years at $40 million a year.
Wow. So you think he gets above $250 million?
Absolutely.
Wow. It's crazy how quickly things change, bro.
Because look at, right? You can't tell Bo Bichette now, we just gave a 32-year-old aging third baseman $35 million a year. Bo Bichette looking at you like, bro, I'm 4 years younger. I'm a better offensive player. How are you telling me that I can't get this?
Mm-hmm.
And overrated aside, what do we feel about him is another conversation for another day. I'm telling you what these agents do. These agents look at, this person just got this. We about to get paid. Paid. So while we may say he's overrated or he's a horrible defender, whatever, that's fine. You look at what Alex Bregman just got, and Bo Bichette's offensive profile is way better than his, and he's 4 years younger. You're paying for that. You're paying for the offense.
So here's the thing. Now that you mentioned what you believe Bo Bichette is going to get, right? Now that
Right.
we understand, of course, what Bregman is going to be earning, then that actually means Cody Bellinger might actually get 300, bro. He just might. Now, I think the years play a factor here, right? I think once you start talking beyond 5, 6, 7, I think it's a done deal. He's certainly probably going to touch 300. But if you're talking Bo 250 plus, 260, 275, whatever it is, I think the other two guys that were also still waiting to fall might end up getting not exactly what they want, but very close.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Kyle Tucker just made himself $100 million additional dollars.
Damn. So you think he's getting 4?
Close to.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because look at the way the market's playing, right? Would I give them this money? No.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just do the math, right? Let's just do the math. Let's play it forward. Pete Alonso got what? 30? Pete Alonso got over 30 million, right? 31 million. 5 years, $155 is what he got, right? Alex Bregman just got 5 at 175. Two older players, subpar. Pete Alonso subpar defensively, offensively. We know what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Bregman is not the same offensive player he once was, although he's a difference maker with his glove and clubhouse and all that
presence. Yeah,
he just got $175. If you think that Bo Bichette and Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker are like, nah, we'll settle for 5 at what? You are out of your mind. These brothers is getting paid,
right?
Like, if I sit there and think about it, I says Cody has a market. Stop, TD. He got a market, bro. If he didn't have a market, he would have signed someone. Listen, the Giants are interested in him to a degree. The Dodgers have interest in him to a degree. All right, they have a market, bro.
Armand says he's getting 180 for 5. You think so, bro? I don't think so.
What does that put him at? 180 for 5.
Damn, off the top of my head,
That's like 36, right? 36 and a half?
Probably somewhere around between 35 and 40.
He's getting close to $40 million, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, look at this. You think Scott's going to get one of his mans 35 and then tell the other one, nah, I can only get you 30. Huh?
Yeah, job's not finished.
You crazy? And I'm more versatile than you? I play more positions than you and you just got 35? You better hit me with the 40.
Right.
Because I could play first, I could play left, I could play right, I could play many different positions for you. And I'm left-handed. Pay up. Pay up.
Listen, all I want, get whatever it is that you want in terms of money if you're a free agent now. All I want is for us to be able to still pump out this content as we are here tonight. So I hope it happens, as you mentioned, over the course of the next week and a half. Because look at this, right? When was the last time we were live? Like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
When we hit the mics twice within a matter of 4 to 5 days, things are starting to, cook up.
Yeah. Look. See, I think we're arguing 2 different points, me and the chat. It's not about worth. Because none of these players are worth in this market to me. I've said that. None of these players are worth it. I hope they all got to settle for crappy deals. I hope they got to settle. But Scott Boras just shot a bazooka through all that. You just got... Hear the context, right? Alex Bregman has had leg issues for the last how many seasons? 3 out of 4 seasons he's had leg issues, right? Why, if he just got $35 million, you telling me Cody Bellinger, who plays first base, left field, right, who's a year younger, doesn't get paid more money than a guy who's 32? You out of your mind. Like,
And
Forget
he's
about
represented by the same guy too.
right. So you think Scott Boras, you think he's looking at, oh, I'll take 30 now, Scott. No way. If you got him 35, what can you do for me?
Right.
I don't care about special. I don't care about personal preference. I don't care. I don't care about none of that. You just got a 35-year-old third baseman with offensive skill set that is declining. A crazy bag. You think Cody Bellinger's sitting there going, yo, you 36? Hell no. You better get me closer to Aaron Judge territory.
That's crazy to say, bro. It really is. It makes me disregard everybody else, in this case Bellinger, and it makes me feel bad for Judge, because it's like, damn, bro. We had thought at the time what he signed for was, lucrative, but fast forward just a few years later, not really.
It does not matter whether he's that. That does not matter. You know how these players keep score? By the way, the contracts they sign. Special ain't got nothing to do with it. You just paid this player X, right? You better pay me. Yes, you're gonna overpay. Supply and demand. You will overpay. I'm sorry, but you're gonna overpay. Listen, full disclosure, bro. You know me for a hot minute. What I said when this free agent market came out, I called you on the phone. We weren't even live. I said, yo, this market is trash. You were like, no, there's some good players on this. I said, yo, this market is garbage.
Because I get what you mean in terms of there not being a guy who you might, want to have on your team for the next 10 plus years. I agree with that. But there's certainly some guys available right now and still as we speak, aside from the guys who have already signed, who I think could still make a huge impact. And when I see that, there's several options, and I've said this before, teams that were in need of whether it was starting pitching, relief pitching, or quality bat can't come crying opening day or come deadline time unless one of their guys went down, which always happens, right? But you can't come deadline time crying like, oh, we need this, we need that, just knowing the offseason that we just went through, or at least still going through.
Raise up, hold on. Read that comment for me.
The union wouldn't allow them to get that deep in the offseason and settle for less. Ooh, interesting. So you think the longer it goes, the more it benefits the players, Rick? Wow. Okay.
You know why? Because teams have to fill our rosters.
Yeah.
Now we got to put a team on the field. There's no way that these players are sitting there going, all right, play the hard game, my boy. Now if I take a 3-year deal, now I want $45 million.
Damn.
I might push you to 50. Play around with me and find out what it's about. And Scott Boras, we talking about Scott Boras. You think Scott Boras just wants to play games? He ain't playing with y'all. He's not playing with y'all. He just got Pete Alonso and Alex Bregman close to $300 million combined. Do you think he's playing with y'all? No way he ain't playing with y'all. So you're telling me that I got a guy right now who's sitting there, who's a versatile player. Every player has their warts. No player is perfect. There is no perfect player. But what Rick just said makes all the sense in the world, bro. Mm-hmm. I couldn't have said it any better because I sit there now and I now realize. See, if Alex Bregman would have taken a 3-year deal for $40 million, $45 million,
like last season,
your point, the conversation changes because now you see that the market is not bearing out the kind of results that you want, right? And nobody's willing to go to that price. The Cubs just basically sent a nuke through your whole plans of, maybe we can get these guys to sign short-term deals. Hell nah. Hell nah. No way.
So then, if that's the case, then maybe we won't have a crazy next few days or a week. Then
Here's why I'm going to tell you why we might. The reason why we might is Super Bowl's I think 3 weeks away.
damn, that's crazy. The Super Bowl.
So what happens right after the Super Bowl? People start reporting to spring training.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing you want is to go deep into spring training, not knowing when you're playing, have to settle for less, and then there's a work stoppage on the way next year. Players are going to start getting paid. You know who's going to suffer most? The pitchers. The Framber Valdez's, the Ranger Suarez's. They're the guys that are going to suffer because you're so consumed with what happens with these position players. Nobody seems to be trying to even figure out where these pitchers are going. Zach Gallen's another one.
Yeah, some good pitchers still out there. It's crazy.
Right. So, like, Freddie Peralta, is he going to get traded? Is he not? Where we at?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But boy, did the Cubs have themselves a winter. Look at this. Brad Keller, now your new 8th inning guy. Edward Cabrera, your number 3 starter probably.
No, I think Brad Keller left, bro. They had him. Didn't he leave?
No, he went to Philly. You're right. You're right. They brought back Caleb Belbar.
Mm-hmm.
They did some things in the bullpen.
I know they brought Harvey, who was with the Royals.
Yeah, they brought him in. Yeah, Hunter Harvey.
Right.
He's there now. Right? Now think about this now. We did Cabrera. We did Bregman.
Yeah.
The Cubs have had a hell of an offseason.
Boy, if both of those things work for them in 2026, we just might be looking at Dodgers Cubs in the NLCS if all goes well.
Herbie Milner is the name that I forgot about. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's
and also let's not forget, for Cubs fans, especially McForster, I know you remember this, that y'all went to 5 games against the Brewers, and you guys were banged up. There were a couple. I mean, so were the Brewers, but the Cubs, I think it really hurt them more. The fact that they were without some of those guys,
And look, here's the thing that is absolutely like interesting, going to be interesting to watch. The Cubs now can literally tell you, hey, we can make a trade if we need to. The Cubs now can trade from that starting rotation. That's how deep the rotation is. They got like 6 pitches, bro.
Yeah.
They said right now the Cubs can start the season with a 6-man rotation.
Mm-hmm.
They won't, but they could.
And that's with Justin Steele starting the season much later.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad if you're a Cub fan right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you guys should be excited. Talk that talk. I don't know who it is that you guys beef with, if you got friends, but let them know how you feel.
And while McForster says nobody's stopping the Dodgers, and we wholeheartedly agree with you.
Damn, that incoming 3P is already in the clip.
We agree with you, right? But you at least have to like the fact that teams are fighting. The Cubs are fighting. They're not settling. We're going to go for it. No, if it happens, so what?
Right.
I tell you something right now. The Cubs might be the second best team in the National League.
Could be. I'm telling you, yeah.
And I say could be because we don't know what else is going to shake out, right?
Mm-hmm. I think the moment the Brewers find the deal that they're waiting for, because that's all it's really down to now, right? When it comes to Freddie Peralta, and you just mentioned him a couple minutes ago, Stefan, what's going to happen? We know he's going to move at some point. Is it going to be during the offseason? Are you going to wait till the deadline? You're big on not waiting till the deadline because you're going to have to get less than what you originally would have gotten. So I think the moment they move on from him, I think the Cubs become even better, especially in that division, right?
So,
because now the rotation or just the pitching at that for the Brewers isn't as good as it looked going into the season.
So I think that's a great point you bring up. And that's why if you're the Cubs, you sense that.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie's going to get traded from Milwaukee. They're going to get a little weaker in the rotation. They're still solid though,
Right.
but now you got to rely on Mazeroski. Now we got to rely on Brewster. Now we got to rely on what happens when this guy comes back again, Brandon Woodruff, because he took the qualifying offer. Is he the same? Where's he at? Right now,
Right.
there's some questions with that pitching now, and they also traded their eighth inning guy.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Mears is with the Royals now,
Yeah.
so your bullpen also took a hit too. So this is not going to be as simple as they'll find. And now we say that, watch the Brewers find a way to win 100 games. That's just what they do.
If they do that after moving off of Freddie, listen, I would be highly impressed. Honestly, I don't give a damn. A team could win 120 games. The Brewers go on and have a similar season that they did in 2025 after moving on from Freddie. My hat goes off to you.
I mean,
For real.
that's just what they do out there. And here's the truth. The truth of the matter is that the Cubs are good, and they got better, but they also made their window shorter though. Bregman's an older player. Seiya Suzuki's an older player. Nico's a free agent at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got some stuff they got to figure out.
Matthew Boyd is also an
Matthew
older guy
Boyd's
too.
an older guy. Caleb Delbar's an older guy.
Right.
So while you're prepping for now, 2025, you're all in.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to get older quicker. So this window might be only 1 or 2 years before you were like, the window's not as open as we thought.
I'm excited. Look, listen, McForster, I see you. You know, you should be ecstatic.
What? I'm jumping for joy right now. And the Bears with the comeback win against the Packers at Soldier Field last night. Yo, I thought the city of Chicago was going to implode on itself.
Was that a big game?
What? The Bears and yo, 1 win away from the conference championship. That is insane. The city of Chicago.
The playoffs started? By the way, guys, as ridiculous as that may sound, if you guys know, you know, Stephen, you know, but I don't watch football. So some of these things I hear, you know, whether they come from Stephen or anybody else, it sounds like a foreign language because I'm genuinely a baseball guy, you know? So that's why I ask these questions. So where are they at right now? Like the first round? Did things start or?
Nah, this is the wild card. This is the beginning of the playoffs.
Okay, got you.
Yo, the Packers were up 21-3 with a minute left in the third quarter and lost the game.
Damn, bro.
You up 3 scores, bro, and you lost. The city of Chicago they on pixie dust right now. Some brothers don't know what to do. They don't know what to do.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you something right now. TD says this. I think we about to see another Patriot dynasty in this.
Wow.
That quarterback, Drake May, that brother's for real.
See, I hear Pats now, and I'm thinking, you know, because I'm hearing what goes around in the media. I'm gonna say, Stephon Diggs. Yo, guys, don't come for me. I don't really know the football stuff, but I know he's on the team. He's going through some BS, you know.
That's another.
Wait, so is he actually playing right now with all of this happening?
No.
Okay, because I was gonna say, how the hell do you play like that, bro? You got like 8 baby mamas, and you know he got some issue with like the chef. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
My boy, hire a male chef. It ain't that hard.
And also, why like living with you too? Like that's crazy. Like I understand you need the person to cook for you every day by all means.
The living
person to live with you too.
The living chef is crazy.
So
that's wow.
He is playing. So he's playing through all of this. Wow, that's crazy, bro. That mental. I hope it's good. I hope it's good.
The NFL don't care. That's why it's called not for long. You can have 3 assault charges. You can listen. You playing in these games, my boy. We getting this money out of you. Hell yeah. Speaking of getting money out of people, Commissioner Manfred.
By the way, did any of you guys see that interview? If you did, you know, feel free to leave comments as we talk about it here.
So I understand what you're trying to do. maybe there should be a deadline. Maybe there should be a trade deadline so we could get more movement. Maybe there should be a few things that make it easy. Rob Manfred.
I thought it was you talking through him for a second, bro. I said, since when Stephen got on the phone with the commissioner?
I understand what you tried to do, but you didn't do it the right way. Because you still come across as disingenuous, because at the same time you want action. Now he's talking about, oh, but baseball wants an in-season cup and they want to do the in-season. They flirted with an in-season tournament and what it would look like. Rob.
They shouldn't.
Rob. It's bad enough these players hate your ass. When I say it, it's different because I don't have no. Me and these players, I don't have relationships. I mean, we might now after what we tell you in a minute.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you continue to shoot yourself in the foot because you make yourself sound like, oh, well, there's money out there and the money will always be out there. We should set some deadlines to get the action moving. So we know we want to get the action moving. But if you want to get the action moving, then you yourself need to work in concert with these players and stop throwing little subtle jabs. It's like the kid that throws the bomb, right? He throws the bomb over the fence and then he dips. If you're gonna throw the bomb, show face and say, y'all threw this bomb, B. I'm here. What you gonna do? At that point, if you're really serious about solidarity, Tony Clark, Rob Manfred, go to WFAN together. Have a conversation on the air. Do something like that. Don't throw a grenade and then try to, and then you got the nerve to do it in a way where, oh no, there'll always be money. There's money here. There'll always be money. We know there's money. But you know how the players feel about a rush deadline, and forget the play. The players need to grow up too, because that's a bunch of BS. But you have to do it in a way where it's good for both parties. You can't just say it to boost up your agenda.
You know what's crazy about the deadline idea, though, Stefan, is like, I know as players, listen, fans often say, oh, what are you crying about? It's just a few $1,000,000. To them, it's the end of the world. They fight to the death, by all means, get your bread, right? We always say that on this show. Sox fan, if we see you, welcome.
He's live at the Pack game right now. This guy is insane.
Oh, wow. So you were at the game watching the show, bro. Shout out to you. That's dope, for real.
Know what I mean?
Tapping in, he had to say, yo, what the 27 ounce dude saying about Alex Bregman leaving?
Yeah, they started drinking last night in the parking lot when they found out he left.
But to go back to my point, to wrap it up, Stephen, because I want to hear what you say about this too, though. Mm-hmm. It benefits the players too, because at the end of the day, a deadline would increase ratings. It would bring more eyeballs, especially around a particular time. If everybody knows that there is a deadline, you're going to have fans scrambling for information. Why can't the players see it as that, bro? Why does it only have to be about like, oh, well, I lose out on time and I want the extra days because what if something goes wrong? Like, I'm sure that's how they see it,
So Armand, with a great point here, the issue is with the deadline is that owners would wait till the final days and force players to accept it. No, this is what you do. Do what the NBA does. Tampering. Get the deal done before you even know the deadline's supposed to be here.
Yeah.
How many times in the NBA a player is supposed to sign on July 1st and the deal was done at 6:01 on July 1st because the deal's already been discussed?
But you know what it is, though, Stefan, too? A lot of these teams do not come correct, bro. I think the Red Sox, for example, great example.
Yeah.
Didn't come correct with Alex Bregman.
Agreed.
He told y'all, listen, it ain't the years, it ain't the money. Please give me that no trade clause. Didn't happen. All right, well, I'm out.
And they're fine with that. Believe it or not, they're fine with that. But here's where I'm going to tell you, as TD says, it's either going to be a salary cap or Armageddon. Either way you go for the players, guess what? It's Armageddon. Because now we got to fight with y'all. Now we're going to lose games. This is bad. Here's why I disagree with you about the 1 year no baseball now.
Yeah, don't say that, TD.
You're making but they're making way too much money to fork over 1 year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With the new TV deals you just signed and new advertising dollars, what are you talking about? There's no way you could do that feasibly. That wouldn't make sense. Feasibly, that is bad business. You just signed new deals, and then you're talking about expansion. The last thing you want, you got 2 lockouts on your resume, and then you want to tell me about expansion? How does the 2 coexist? They don't.
Right.
You have to be in a healthy place to expand. And if you go through another lockout, can we say baseball's in a healthy place? I don't know.
You know, to go back to the commissioner's interview on The Fan, another thing that I thought was interesting was listen, as baseball fans, we know that, and even us, right, Stefan, we've had conversations here on the channel. 2026 is not a typical season for us.
No,
it's not. We're starting sooner. You have the World Baseball Classic to worry about very soon. You got a full regular season to worry about. You got a month and some change of October baseball, you know, that you have to worry about. And then at the very end, you have a hard deadline that no matter how you feel is going to come closer than you think. And you're out here telling fans, oh, well, we got time. We got time, as if like you don't have the things that I just mentioned to worry about. Unlike any other season where all you have to go into it worrying about is the regular season. There's more to worry about this year, bro.
There's way more to worry about, and that's why it's going to be a fascinating story, because how do you come off such a high, right? You got the classic, then you got the season, then you got the series, and depending who's in it, that's a ratings bonanza.
Yo, don't let this World Series be crazy. If this World Series is crazy and we go into 2027 missing out on baseball, I will be damned. I'll be pissed, bro. Seriously.
The free agent, if you're a free agent, you're not playing in the Classic. You can't. That's not feasible. Why would you play in the Classic, risk getting hurt, and then you can't get paid?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
If you're a free agent right now, what was I gonna say? This dude says that I'm not pitching in the Classic. He might. He was gonna pitch for them. Now he's not, because he wants to get acclimated to Houston. But if you're a free agent, there's no way.
Right.
There's no way you could pitch it. You could play in the Classic and feel like, like, I'm gonna tell you this. I wonder if Scooble pulls out at the last minute.
It might. You know, speaking of backing out, Freddie Freeman, he recently told Team Canada, yo, I'm out. I played with y'all twice before. I'm not doing it this time. I'm older now.
No, he pulled out for personal reasons. It was. I think it's something to do with one of his kids.
Yeah. Okay.
One of his kids. I think one of his kids is sick.
Right.
In fact, one of them was in the hospital and almost died. Damn near.
I remember hearing something about that.
So that could be why.
It's not. Is it Charlie? That's the one I always see.
No. It's the younger one. It's the
other one.
The younger one. Yeah. So
shout out to his son though, bro.
I mean, yeah, that Charlie's all over the place, running around the field. He's. By the way, speaking of Clayton Kershaw is the #1 analyst for NBC for Baseball Night in America on NBC. He's the #1 studio analyst they're targeting to join their crew. That crew should be interesting because the NBA is putting foot in people's asses with that crew. You got on NBC, my God. My God, is the NBA on NBC killing the rest of y'all. Them and Amazon Prime, ESPN, it's time for y'all to get time.
Who's that? Amazon Prime.
On Amazon Prime it's Blake Griffin, Dirk Nowitzki, Udonis Haslem, and Steve Nash.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then on NBC, it's Melo, T-Mac, Vince Carter, and Maria Taylor. Dope.
Yeah, those I know about. Right.
Dope. But the games on Amazon, fire. Heat.
Damn.
And it's like, so baseball sees that, and baseball's like, yo, we got to get an all-star team in here. Clayton Kershaw, I wouldn't be surprised if Curtis Granderson's one of the panelists, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a guy like, Pedro Martinez, you know what I'm saying?
I do like is it TBS? The TBS squad that does the games. It's Curtis Granderson, Pedro, Jimmy
Jimmy
Rollins.
Rollins and Dusty
Yeah.
Baker did it with them a few years too. Yeah,
Right. That's not a bad
Mhm.
group, you know.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I
So
think
like,
Lauren Shahadi too.
she's the lead chair. Yeah, she's the
Mm-hmm.
lead chair.
Yeah.
But no, baseball got some stuff it has to figure out. And I'm saying I wonder if Scooble pulls out, because here's the thing, Tigers, we don't believe you either. You be a fool not to trade Scooble.
Yeah, I call cap all the way when they say they're not interested.
You be a fool not to trade that brother. Are you kidding me? Yo, but getting back,
We're gonna be here when they finally like make it happen.
Mhm.
But at the same time, as we, get ready at that time to talk about whatever it is that comes to our minds when it's, finally happening,
Mhm.
it's gonna be one of those things where deep down inside, I'm not even really gonna feel all that bad
No,
for the organization. For the fan base, maybe, but for the organization, absolutely not. You're getting exactly what you want.
listen, he's gonna win that arbitration case. You know why? I won back-to-back Cy Young awards, bro.
Right.
And you lowball me, offering me 20 million? Pay that man his 32 million and stop playing up games.
Yo, the Tigers, I'm not saying that you have to meet him exactly, but the fact that the gap was that substantial,
You better get it
respectful, bro.
You better get it close enough to where he's sniffing 30.
What really makes it stand out the most, Stefan, is going back to the comment you just shared. He's a back-to-back Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah, it's nasty.
And the gap is like this. Yo, bro, the Tigers, listen, not everybody deserves what they have. We, on the other hand, we deserve you guys, chat, and we appreciate you guys. The Tigers, not so much.
Yo, and then here's the crazy thing, right? Here's the thing that I'm sitting there thinking out loud. How do you lowball somebody by a full $17 million, bro?
And then him out of all people, bro, he's him.
So, no, I think it was 13. It was 13. It was, he wanted 32. They came back at 19.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you're not even in the same arena. Like, you guys in the parking lot, and this guy is in the clubhouse getting ready to pitch. Like, y'all not in the same place.
Right.
It's kind of crazy. Getting back to the Manfred thing. Yo, Manfred, here's the other thing. I applaud you going on the national platform. I get it. But at that point, nothing you say can save you.
Mm-hmm.
Because the players already don't like you. Tony Clark came out and like, yo, deadlines will hurt us. It's not good for the sport. Since one day we have a deadline. Deadlines never worked in baseball. Why would it work now? What you should do, Rob Manfred, is you need to talk to your players. Stop throwing them under the bus in a public setting where you feel like because you can. Or you're gonna get more Bryce Harpers that say, yo, get the uck out my clubhouse because I don't like you, dude. Because nothing about you is real. Nothing about you is sincere. Nothing about you is honest. Everything about you is some snake ass. Yo, but I'm trying to do what's best for y'all. I'm trying to make y'all more money. Are you really? Or you just trying to do what's best for you?
The other thing that's beautiful about a deadline too is it benefits us content creators, right?
It does.
Because we're gonna cover regardless of how long it is, but to know that there's a time that everyone should be zeroed in if you're a baseball fan, regardless of who your team is, what does that do? Now people like you and I, Stefan, what happens? We hit the mics.
Yeah.
Yo, we getting closer to whatever.
Right, yeah.
Has happened. You were hearing this, as we already do. For those of you who have been around, especially, for trade deadline season, we're out here,
So here's the thing that Rob Manfred likes to do, because I was reading an article about this. He likes to use points like this as what they call test balloons, right? Well, he'll throw something out there just to say, hey, we threw this out there. We just want to see how it tests to the public, right? Like, I don't know if they do the in-season tournament thing, but maybe that's something he threw out just to gauge fan reaction. Like, oh, I'll be with it.
If you're gonna do the in-season tournament, they should take a page out of your book and change the classic from before the season, and then just make the WBC the in-season tournament, bro.
And
Don't
do it.
have the in-season tournament and then the WBC as like its own separate thing. Make the World Baseball Classic the thing.
You're in-season tournament. Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And you make more money that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Now
that's
the
what
players also don't have to rush to have to prepare as they do now with this upcoming WBC. Because if you do it, I mean, it's in the name, right? No pun intended, in-season tournament. These guys are already rocking and rolling. The blood is flowing. They're not feeling what they feel in off season, you know?
Right.
Like, yo, you said WBC midway through the season?
I'm
Sign
with
me
you.
up.
Yeah, I'm with you. And they're having their own little Red Sox chat here back and forth. I love it. It's an interesting thing too when you have fan bases who are legitimately asking, yo, what's happening to our teams? Like, what is happening to our teams? And this is why the whole expansion thing is laughable to me. You want to have an expansion team, but you got the A's playing in a minor league stadium. The Rays are just playing in a minor league stadium. But we seriously sitting here talking about expansion?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in what world is that okay? In what world is that okay?
Right.
That's the thing I'm asking is what world is that even feasible to you to even make those work? Oh, I'd like to have it done before 2029 when I retire. Rob, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. You might as well retire now because you ain't getting none of
that. Yo, get a commissioner in there who cares about the content creators, bro. I hope. Listen, I would love to be a part of the CBA conversations because it would be very interesting to, make it a norm where we aren't looked at as villains, right? Where we are able to use clips from games, where we are able to really work how we genuinely would like to without there being, brick walls is what it feels like them in front of us.
This is an interesting idea. Another idea for the in-season tournament is do it with teams that are not making the playoffs. The final 2 months of the season, August and September, winner gets the highest percentage for the draft lottery or the number one overall pick. I like that.
That's interesting. Yeah,
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're talking about trying to incentivize the teams that are losing. Now, if you win, you get the number one pick.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you win, you get the number one pick, and that's what it's about.
Do you did you pull it up yet? I don't have it on my end, Stefan. You have it on your end, the comment from TikTok or no?
Okay, I can go to it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'm even signed on to TikTok on the computer.
You're not? I am. So let me know if you can't get in. Then I'll just share my screen. But I'm gonna do it real quick because I don't want it to like take up the entire thing. I might do it for like a couple minutes so that we could still clip it up and whatnot. People got to know what we're gonna say in response, right?
Not so I don't have it.
You don't have it? Oh, he left. All right, so let me open up TikTok here. By the way, so what Stefan and I were just talking about, I said it at the very top of tonight's show. And sorry, let me mute that actually. I said it at the top of tonight's show. Obviously we spoke about the things that we had already gotten into. Look at us. Like I'm now Stefan. He's you want me to leave and come back, bro? I'll do it.
No, I got it. Good. I got it. Yeah.
So we had a player reach out to us on TikTok, and long story short, I guess he didn't really like what it was that Stefan and I said. And you guys know how we work when it comes to putting content out. We didn't say, what we said in that particular clip intentionally. Like we were just doing our jobs. Like we didn't do it as bait, thinking that this player, being Jazz Chisholm Jr., to reach out to us and, say what it is that he said here. So let me actually pull this up real quick, Stefan.
Yeah, and then the reaction was funny to me. I was dying.
All right, let's see. So let me share my screen here. I got it open. Could I open this? Let me see. Share screen. Okay, allow. Okay, could you guys see this chat? Let me know if you guys can see this.
I just am. I can't take the mental incompetence.
Could you
Even
guys see
on
this
the
or no?
internet a lot lately.
But anyway, I'm sure you guys
him
could.
and his girlfriend. I don't know. if they
Stephen, you see what
recently
they
got
saying there?
They
No.
got engaged. Yeah.
He's
Yeah. So I
think
opened it
that
up a little bit.
She was on
Yeah,
that show
they see it?
Baddies on Zeus Network.
Let me
I don't know
see if
too
you
many
guys
Because
people
see.
I
know
can't
about
see the
that
comments
show.
right now, but I could
But if
see
you
what
don't,
I'm actually sharing.
The comments are
him not
small.
always
It's
being
nasty.
there
Yeah, all right.
mentally,
So
especially
no,
in
their
big
comments,
moments.
like what they're
It's-
saying. Could they
and
say?
now-
Are they saying that they see
Listen,
us?
I'm not trying to
Yeah.
talk down.
All
on
right.
that
So I just wanted to
relationship,
make
but
sure. So, chat,
if that
for those of you
turns
guys
ugly,
who remember,
that could
I think
be
a lot of
really
you guys
bad,
who are
'cause there
here
was
with us
already
right
some
now
stuff
were
with him
here when
being
we
on
spoke
Twitter,
about this on a previous
defending
show.
her, talking about yo,
And it
my
wasn't
girl
too
never
long ago,
had
as you can see.
Hold up,
OnlyFans.
bro.
It's a
Mute the
whole bunch of
audio
mess,
because the
bro.
audio's playing in the
It's a
background.
damn
Got
mess.
you. My mistake. Sorry about that. Thank you, guys. You see, that's why I asked you guys. Now let's start it up again. So some of you guys were here for when we did this show, and some of you guys also enjoyed the clip. Shout out to you guys who do. It just so happens that Jazz Chisholm Jr. also enjoys the clips too. So as you can see, we had a couple of people say some things. Shout out to Chad. He had even left a comment. So Jazz responds with, "This is why we, Stefan and I, are not in the front office." I'm gonna stop sharing now so that we could go back to what we got to do. But anyway, now that I shared that with you guys, thoughts, because we did put it up on the channels page, and I don't know if too many of you guys saw it. We also put it up on IG. I know some of you guys are following us there. But anyway, how do we feel about this? Stefan and I, we laughed, to be honest. Like, if I had to break down our initial reactions, like when we first got on the phone with each other, it was like, yo, why this dude coming at us like that, bro? We didn't do this to pull any feathers. We're just doing our job, and that's talking about the game of baseball, bro. But I'll tell you one thing. I think he responded to us because we might have, struck a nerve. 1, 2, I don't know how many, but I think we did.
I'm gonna say it. Jazz, hi Jazz, if you see this. Hi. Take your sensitive ass and get off social media. Stop it. Why are you so concerned with somebody saying something about you that's obviously true? Because if it wasn't true, you wouldn't have reacted the way you did. Whether or not you don't like what we said has some validity and some truth because you responded to it.
Yeah.
So obviously there's something there. And the truth of the matter is, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't mean to be mean, but I don't care if I have a relationship with certain players, if certain players don't like us, if we can't get interviews with certain players. I don't care. And if I just burn that bridge with Jazz Chisholm, oh damn well. There's a reason why people around the game are wondering, what are you worth? Should we pay you? Because the skill set is the skill set. But there's something about the mental incompetence that you deal with on a daily basis. Now we don't know how distracted you're going to be off the field. I'm not going to get into his personal business, but we don't. Now you want us to pay you on top of that, and now you be throwing chances in the clubhouse when you don't play, or when you get benched, or when somebody says something to you that you don't like.
Right. Didn't he tell a fan, I think, on Twitter last year, like SMD or something like that? I remember he said something wild like that. I don't know what exactly he was responding to, but it was definitely about him.
He got thrown out of a game. And the fan was like, how can you get thrown out in that spot? So he responded with SMD. And I'm like, yo, fam. And this is the thing, right? We got a reaction out of you because we called out something that really struck a nerve with you and it really bothered you. And
we know how to do our jobs. That's what it is.
The sad part is that I don't care who you are. I don't care if you play for the Yankees. I don't care if you play for the Yomiuri Giants. I don't care. I don't care. If you come at me with some BS, I'm going to respond to you. And I hope your little sycophants and cronies on TikTok tag you in this too. If you want to straighten it out, be a man, hit the platform, email the channel. We'd love to have you.
I know, right? That would really be like the icing on the cake to be able to land that, because that's what we're all about, right? You know, not just because we said what we said, again, going back to it being the truth, right? Which is why the Yankees were, or maybe still are, I don't know if they still are or not, but at some point they were listening to offers, you know? Yo, you're interested? All right, we'll listen to what it is that you want to offer for the guy, you know? Why not?
Why do you think they keep using the phrase challenge trades? You think that Brian Cashman's using that for his health? We trying to trade you. And we're even thinking about going to get Bo Bichette with you on the team. What does that tell you? Whether they sign him or not is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the Yankees are now in the conversation to sign Bo Bichette, whether they do it is irrelevant. And you got a second baseman already on your roster. That shows you everything you need to know about how they view you.
Mm-hmm.
You a knucklehead, bro. You a knucklehead. And the only reason why you didn't act up in Miami is because Derek would have put his foot in your ass.
Right.
Derek Jeter, for those who living under a rock.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why you didn't, and now I believe the stories of your teammates destroying your cleats. Because you probably an asshole. But we're bad because we're report. Oh, but 30-30, and he's the second best second baseman in the American League, and oh my God, and what good is the 30-30 when you get thrown out for the stupidest reasons?
You know what it is too, Stefan, and I told you this because I want to give you some credit, right? Because when we had this conversation off the air, and then of course we brought it to you guys, but when we first had this conversation, I told you that big fan of Jazz, right? I think he's been a better player since leaving Miami, now being a Yankee for a couple of seasons now. Excited to see what he's going to do in 2026, being his final season now. But at the same time, I think my vision was a little blurred when it came to Jazz Chisholm because of the talent, right? He's so special. You know, he the swag, whatever it is that the young kids like him for. Listen, they have a reason, right? Shout out to them. And he was even on a cover of MLB The Show. I forget which year, but anyway, the kids apparently love him, right? But I say that because once you started mentioning what we got into with, with the firsthand experience, we could now, and I hate to say this, but it is what it is. And shout out to Jazz for him doing this, but we can now talk about this based off of our own experience with the guy. Ain't that crazy? We don't get to do that on this show too often. But with this one topic now, when something does pop off, if it does at some point this year, we could come back on this very platform, chat, Stefan and I, be like, yo, he did it to us in January. I forgot he was running his mouth on the 27 ounce TikTok. Why y'all surprised? Right or wrong?
Everything you said was accurate. But I'm going to take it a step further. Now you know when we report something, now you know it's true. Because I was reporting this before the national media got a hold of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not to pat myself on the back, not to do none of that, but before the national media told you Jazz Chisholm was getting traded, I said it was possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just read the tea leaves. The team ain't trying to give you no bread. Team ain't trying to pay you. So now we want to act like what I'm saying ain't real. I was saying this before. anybody in the national media, before the Joel Shermans, before the whoever's. Because you know why? Because somebody from the Yankees texted me and says, yo, we think about moving Jazz. I think it'll be difficult, but we're having conversations internally about moving Jazz Chisholm.
Right.
People in your own organization who you say we're not front office, but guess what? I probably got more contacts in the front office than you do, and you play for them. Don't play with me. I'm not the one. Don't play with us. We're not the one.
Right.
Because we're not going to go back and forth in the comments with you, but what we will do is get out here publicly and air you out. Don't play with me. Nobody wants to talk about the time that you were late for a road trip, right? Because you overslept because you was out there in the club the night before.
That's another thing with him, man. And I've told you this before too. Listen, chat. So I had like a 2 to 3 year phase in my 20s when I used to party hard, right? And this was actually a couple of years after I had met Stefan back in college. And, you know, I ended up following a couple DJs, you know, still follow them to this day. And listen, DJs, that's what they do. They party every single day. You might see a party or a story, you know, and it's a party damn near every day. That's what they do for a living.
Yeah.
But I say that because how many times have I told you, Stefan? I think twice already, right? I think twice so far.
Yeah.
Since Jazz has been with the Yankees. Now, it could be more, but I'm only telling you what I have seen on my Instagram. I've seen Jazz at clubs, folks. I'm talking about Uptown Manhattan, Dykeman.
Yeah. Outside.
Where you and I could walk in as long as we got the entrance fee. Long as we got the entrance fee and you got money for bottles,
we good.
Jazz is walking into spots like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody in the hood could walk into.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if you like to party like that, despite being who you are in the real world, right? Then party on all you want. But I'm just saying that's what he's out here doing. Just to add on to what we've already been talking about.
And that's fine. That's totally fine. You can do whatever you want to do. But when it starts to affect how the organization perceives you, because there's a perception problem. The perception, the problem is not whether you love the game, because you love the game. You're an exceptional athlete. You're special on the field. Everything you do is special. But you're also very selfish. Because you're 30-30 and your mind is on Pluto half the time. You ain't even here. You playing off pure talent. What happens when that talent goes away? And I got to pay you how much money to be in New York when the money ain't even come yet and you acting a fool? And then you want to come in here and enjoy with us on TikTok? What Jay-Z said, don't bark up that tree will fall on you. Please not Steph. He's not for play. Don't bark up this tree. This tree will fall on you. Not us.
By the way, chat, you know, I don't have anything else to say in addition to the Chisholm stuff, but I do want to leave you guys with this last point. Give yourselves a pat on the back, please, for helping us become a platform that these people are watching.
Mm-hmm.
They're watching us. Listen, I don't want to come on here and be the guy like, oh, you know, this and that. I'm saying it because it's happening. We told you guys, I don't know if all you guys remember, Instagram did not allow us to upload a video one time that was regarding Netflix, Major League Baseball, all that stuff. We got Jazz Chisholm, you know, not really being a fan of what we're saying. These folks are watching us. And you know what it is? A lot of them are not saying anything. Jazz is the first one to really come out and be like, because that's just Jazz, right? Jazz is being himself. As long as you still being yourself, Jazz, then it is what it is. As long as we always know you to be that and you stay true to that, then all right, that's your life, bro. If that's how you want to live, that's how you want to live. But as a platform, I say this, you know, on behalf of Stefan and myself, excuse me, but we got to be happy for what's happening right now. Because, you know, it's things that listen, if you would have asked us a couple of years ago, I'd be like, you mean Jazz Chisholm is gonna respond to us in 2026? That ain't happening. What do you mean we're gonna get Heath Bell on the platform? That ain't happening. So we'll see what the rest of this year offers us. But I don't got nothing else to say, Stephen. Go ahead.
We out, man. I'm done. I just hit you with a whole ball. It's time to chill. You know what I mean? But just know we love y'all. We wouldn't be here without y'all. And when we say you guys are like a family, we mean that. Seriously. So, guys, have a wonderful evening. All right. I have the good rest of your week. Hopefully, you'll see us again this week at some point.
Hold on before they go, bro. Yo, everybody, don't leave without the entry fee. It's a like. It's free.
Nah, man. I better see 10 likes on this video when I log off this mug. You heard?
For real. Come on, chat.
You heard?
Yo, by the way, shout out to all of you guys for stopping by. I know typically we do cover things literally the night of, but Alex Bregman and the Cubs, you know, they want to get deals done at damn near 11 o'clock at night. But to be here 24 hours later, chat is rocking. Stefan is feeling it. I'm feeling it. We're thriving. You know, it feels good.
Hell no. I'm telling Jazz. Go ahead, bro. I'm cool.
They're going to start using that one against us if we get crazy.
He don't scare me. He don't want these problems.
Right.
That's all I know. We ain't got to go home, but we got to get the hell up out of here. So peace, y'all.